Hi, scholars, and happy Monday. I'm really excited to get started on the last couple weeks of this quarter because we are going to be jumping into our book clubs. And our nonfiction book clubs are actually really cool. You guys are goal setting, you're working together, you're having great discussions. And I want to do a little prep work right before we jump into our book clubs just so that you're ready and feeling good and prepared for what book clubs look like and what they're going to mean. And they're going to be interesting because we're going to be doing them through distance learning. So I'm learning just with you as well. So as we're going into our nonfiction book clubs for the rest of this quarter, I want us to remember and to think about how nonfiction is not fake, it's real. And so when we're talking about what is nonfiction, remember that is like our mummy's book. The book I'm going to use today is Diving with the Sharks. It's books based off of real people, real event, real places. While fiction, we love fiction, it's fake. It's not real. Sadly, Harry Potter is not real, and we don't have magic and superpowers and all that cool stuff. And so when we're going today and we're really focusing on taking the most out of our nonfiction books so that we are ready for our book clubs and just getting the information that's being provided to us, we really want to orient ourselves with our story. And I'm going to show you what that looks like with my nonfiction book today, and then I want you to try it with yours. So when we're talking about orienting ourselves and generating questions and ideas, this starts by reviewing the front of our story, the front of our text. And so this is the front of my text that I'm using for my example today. And if for your homework assignment today, if you want to record yourself talking about what book you have in a video and really like share screens, that's totally acceptable. Whatever works for you when you're submitting your assignment today. But what I want to do is review the cover. And when I'm looking at the cover of my nonfiction book, I can first off see the title is very clear, Diving with the Sharks, right on the top. That is the title of our story. But right under here, we see it says, and more true stories of extreme adventures. We see a huge shark and a person holding, it looks like some kind of like underwater camera. And I can see it's from National Geographic Kids. And so this tells me it's a really great source. I'm excited. I can see it's a chapter book because it says chapters. And so it kind of like sparks my interest and I'm already checking out what it's going to be. I can see the author is right on the bottom as well. And so once we open up and we have the cover, we've analyzed it, let's go ahead and check out our table of content. And so when I'm looking at my table of content right over here, I can see it has bold sections, and it makes me wonder if these are chapters. And as I'm looking at it, I can tell, and let me actually get my doc cam. I'm gonna pause. Here we are. This looks a little bit better. So when we're looking at our table of content right over here, I could see that these were bolded right over here. And at first I was wondering if maybe there are different chapters. But clearly I can see that those are not chapters because there are 1, 2, and 3 chapters, 1, 2, and 3 chapters, 1, 2, and 3 chapters. And so it has me thinking, I'm sorry, it also has the don't miss. It has me wondering and thinking that it must be that there's different sections of the story, and within each section there are chapters present there. And so that has my mind already thinking about how the story is organized. So it looks like the first section has to do with diving with the sharks. The next section has to do with keeping your cool. The following section has to do with into the dark. And then the last section says don't miss. And so it looks like within each one there are sections. So this one has to do with sharks that are taking place. This one might have to do with the temperatures. It says cold conditions. So it makes me think about maybe like underwater temperatures, danger in the dark, running out of air. So maybe like keeping calm, the temperature of the ocean. And then the last one is into the dark, diving deep, deadly deaths, and surprising finds. And so right over here, I can see how the story is going to be organized. And as I'm starting to do this, I'm wondering about when it talks about diving with sharks, that's the first section that we saw, and more true stories of extreme adventures. I want to know, like, what are these extreme adventures that are taking place? So let me give there we go. So when we're seeing, it looks like different people are important for different sections. And so maybe within these different sections, those people are experts in them. Maybe they are like that. Maybe David and Jennifer are professional divers and they know how to dive with sharks and what that could look like. Maybe Waller, I don't know. I'm like very curious about what these sections mean. And it's also organized very interestingly. Like I am taken back by the bold and then the chapters within them. But that's how the book is organized. So now from this table of content, I know that if I wanted to start with chapter 2 with swimming with seals, I would go to page 16. So if we go to page 16, and I'm trying to get familiar with our text. And here we are, swimming with seals. We can see right over here there is a seal and a little baby seal, super cute. And Jennifer Hayes took this picture of a mother harp seal nuzzling her baby. And so we can see right over here that Jennifer Hayes, I'm pretty sure, oh no. Yeah, here it is. Her name is right over here for this section. So we know that this section, she's part of the people in charge of it. And so when we're reading this, I want to think about what questions I can generate as I'm reading. So the water temperature in Canada's Gulf of St. Lucerine was below freezing, but divers, scientists, and photographer Jennifer Hayes hardly noticed. She had a thick, warm clothes under her dry suit. She wore special gloves and boots attached to her suit. These items were made to keep her warm. Okay, I really want to know about what these dry suits are because it has me wondering and thinking about
doing scratch.
What those are, because we live in Minnesota. We know how cold it gets. So I'm kind of curious as to what are these gloves, what are these boots, how are they attached? I'm wondering if they have any visuals. Do we have any visuals on the next page? Oh, we don't. So I'm curious as to what that could look like. Maybe, is it like a swimming suit? Because that would be cold. And then the next line kind of has us think about what Jennifer didn't know was that they would save her life on this dive. Oh, that has me really curious as to how they would come into play. So Jennifer was snorkeling alone this time without her husband David, and I believe it's Dabauti. Her goal was to take pictures of baby harp seals and its mother. But this was a challenging assignment. Because mother and pup harps seals don't stay together long. Okay, I'm wondering why. Why do they get separated? After a harp seal is born, its mother nurses it for 12 to 15 days. Then the mother leaves the pup to survive on its own. Oh my goodness, talk about some like tough love. And over here I can see that we have another note. And I'm guessing that for this section over here, that's going to go really well with it. Today, readers, what I want you to do is to start reading and thinking, to start reading your own nonfiction text and start thinking about how are you organizing and making yourself familiar with how the text is organized. One thing that's really important when we're talking about book clubs and working with other scholars in breakout rooms for our live class is feeling confident and feeling prepared for the materials. And so part of that is actively reading the text and making sure that you're familiar with the cover and the table of content, and also just sparking questions and getting ideas and wonderings as you're reading. That is really important when you're working with others. If you have any questions about finding a nonfiction book today or how to come up with questions as you're reading, for sure stop by office hours and I will gladly help you feel successful and get you on track. So let me know if you have any questions or concerns, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.